So we're going to upgrade up to the standard configuration. And at the bottom left, you'll see that in addition to the 2 and 3 axis express configuration, the very basics of 2 and 3 axis, you also have 2 and 3 axis standard operations, which is a lot more, a whole lot more 2 axis operations and approximately 5 3 axis operations. So in the little picture here for the part, you see a part that's a little bit more than just prismatic. You've got some contoured surfaces that you need to machine, which would be better served using the standard configuration. Okay. Now you can always program any part in any configuration, but what we're talking about the differences is the amount of toolpath operation types and that you get. And each of those operation types brings some additional control to you as far as the cutter paths, okay? And obviously that will affect surface finish on what you're cutting. So in this standard configuration, you start with the express that we just talked about, and then we're going to add the standard configuration, which you have standard 2-axis operations such as face top, roughing. Now this is in as well as the express that we just talked about. So the additional operation types, some examples are face top, you get 2-axis roughing, you get engraving, slotting, chamfering, and you also introduction to the feature machining capability in the product. And obviously there's more operation and capabilities. But as far as 3-axis, you also get in the express, you only get the horizontal finishing and horizontal roughing, but in the standard, you get the horizontal roughing, the horizontal finishing. You also get some additional radial and spiral finishing. If you look at this part, you'll see this it's circular or radial in nature. So these radial and spiral machining methods will come in handy for this type of part. And you also get adaptive roughing and the more advanced simulation. Now, in the Express, you get a very basic simulation capability. Starting in the standard, you get our best simulation capability. Okay, so this is standard. So in standard, you get Express, and then you get some additional features, 2-axis and 3-axis features. Now let's go over to standard. Now, as I mentioned in the presentation, if your parts have contours, okay, for instance, by a contour, I'm referring to the surfaces here that are not flat. Basically, they have contour in them. If you have any type of contour machining, you want to basically skip the Express and go right up to the standard, okay, which gives you some additional operation types. And so a couple that I have here at the top here that's relatively important for a circular type of parts is the spiral machining, where you have one entry and one exit. So it cuts in a spiral motion, either starting in the middle or starting in the end. It'll work its way in or out, one continuous toolpath method. So that's very handy, a very good surface finish for these types of circular contoured parts. And then, excuse me, and then radial, which is similar to that, where you can cut in radial paths starting at the center and working your way out, okay? Using the spiral and the radial will be a very good surface finish that you get in these radial types of surfaces in this part. And again, in this part, we also have some roughing, and we have some pocketing. The part isn't fully programmed, but just to illustrate. So let's just do a simulation of this. I'll show you a better simulation type. Was you going to say something?
Yeah,
Joe?
actually, yeah, I'm just going to add that the simulation module that we include is a high-end simulation module. As you can see, go ahead and run the simulation and you'll notice the difference between the one we ran and expressed in here. So
now the step overs, they're not tight enough to get a really good finish, but you get an idea. It's a polygonal simulation where you will see some faceting in the simulation, but that's only in the simulation. That's not on the part. As I mentioned in the presentation, accuracy is built into the part. You can dial in the exact amount of accuracy you need. You can increase the decimal places of the tolerance in the operation type. You can increase the decimal places when you post, so you can get the exact amount of accuracy that you need for any type of application. Okay.
hey, Don, you want to go ahead and change the step over for the spiral and radial to get that, show how that changes?
Yes, we can do that. So let's tighten this up to say 5%. Let's generate that. And then we'll do the spiral. This is a 5% step over. Okay, so let's look at the toolpath first. So you get a really nice toolpath method where you're starting in the center or the outer, and you're doing one continuous motion from the entrance and the exit. And as the radial, same way. Very good surface finish, especially on parts like this. And the
Can
part
you run the
doesn't,
simulation?
yeah, we can do that. Okay, let's take a look at my settings here. Okay, let's up this. Okay, let's run that again.
Looks like a lot better.
Mm-hmm. And it's always good, we mentioned this a lot in the demos, if you need a really good surface finish, run the tool in opposite directions on circular features like this. With the spiral, you're going one way, and then with the radial, you're going opposite that the other way, which basically cleans up all of the excess stock that's left on the part. So you get a really good, even you see some of this faceting here, which is only in the simulation as well. Okay. Okay, if there's any questions about the standard, let's go look at the menus actually, before we do that. So the machine, post, setup, you get more stock options. You get box, part box, meaning you get the part and you're adding some dimensions to the size of the part to get the stock. You get cylinder. We used a cylinder stock in this particular part. And so you can export your stock as an STL file if you need to use that in-process stock model. And then you can also obviously delete and remove the simulations. Again, you have the same alignment options as in all of the modules. You have the material definition, that's in all the modules. Of course, you get work zeros. In the 2-axis, you get some additional slotting and chamfering. And you also get face top machining and roughing. Okay, these are 2-axis roughing. Okay, in the standard. And let's look at the 3-axis. You get more, you get a total of 6 operation types in 3-axis. So the additional operations in 3-axis is the horizontal finishing, radial machining, and spiral machining. So these 3 operation types you can use to cut a very large percentage of contoured parts. As I mentioned before, the main difference between standard and the Pro is in the Pro you get a whole lot of 3-axis operations, and I'll show you those in a moment. So there's 3-axis operations. You also, in addition to drilling, you also do tapping, boring, and reverse boring. So in the tapping, you can do PEC tapping and regular tapping, and then these are additional type cycles you can define in the post processor. So you can do a lot of different types of tapping. And then in the bore, really similar, you get a drag bore, you get no drag bore, and then a manual drag bore. And you have additional user-defined cycles for boring. And that's very similar for reverse boring. Bore and reverse boring is the cutter may be different and it's going in a different direction around the part. Okay, and then also you get additional utilities in standard. You can do mop sets where you can group your folders of operations in more of an organized fashion. Okay, and you can also, as I mentioned, machine control cycles. You can do those for the different operation types. Okay, so let's see. So that was 3-axis, that was holes. We did that. And then you also get loading and saving of knowledge bases. So you can capture the knowledge in the standard configuration and save that to a knowledge base. And we have a whole lot of different automation that you can do with knowledge bases. And we have a number of videos that you can see on our website regarding knowledge bases. So let's move on down to the operation types. Let's go back. I want to just go back over real quick to the Express. If you look down here in the machining objects browser in the Express, you basically have a tools tab, and you can define 5 types of tools. So you have a ball mill, flat mill, a corner radius mill, a chamfer or a V-bit mill, or a drill. Okay, so you can use these for all of the different types of drilling operations. Obviously in 2-axis and 3-axis as well. So let's go back over to standard configuration. Now, when you bump up to the standard, you have a lot of additional tabs down here on the machining objects browser. You can create regions. For example, if you have regions on your part, let's say if you just created an operation and you need to select the control geometry, and if your part is relatively complex, you have say 100 or so regions that you need to select to machine, you can go down here to the regions tab and automate the selection of those region types by creating a region, and then you can clone that region. So that region, if we did one region, say on this flat area, like a circular region, and then did the cloning, it would find all the rest of them and add it to the list of regions. Okay, so you can use
Hey Don,
this.